Dreadwing, demolition expert. Dreadwing is fiercely loyal to Megatron and is nearly as savage in battle as the Decepticon leader himself. As a seeker, he proved himself a force to be reckoned with. As Decepticon's second in command, he may be the end of the Autobots. Hello, YouTubers. This is Optimus Prime G1 with a review of Dreadwing, demolition's expert. First, we'll do a quick look at the packaging. Okay, sorry about that. As you can see, it's just the typical packaging. It actually has Starscream and Knockout here on the cover with Megatron, which is actually a newer packaging. His tech specs on the side here. If we can get that. Okay, his strength is an 8. His intelligence is an 8. His speed is an 8. His endurance is a 7. His rank is a 9. His courage is a 7. His fire blast is an 8. And his skill is a 5. Very impressive. Specifications. As you can see, my lighting isn't great. I don't know if it's come up as blue on here or it looks black to me from what I'm seeing, but hoping once this recording is done and you can see the blue. It's actually like a navy blue. Really nice with yellow details in the clear transparent plastic. You can see on the bottom, you can see a little bit of kibble. You can see his arms. You can see his arms, his legs. But you can't see his head, which is good. It's not a lot of kibble. I mean, he is a commander class, so you are going to see kibble. I mean, so far, I don't think we've got a commander class that hasn't had a lot of kibble. The only one I can think of is Powerglide, that had the least amount of kibble. So let's take a look at his fellow Decepticons. We'll just zoom out a little and get Starscream, Megatron, and a Viacon. And you can see pretty much in par with Starscream as far as size goes. Megatron should be bigger, but I mean he is, but it's not as big as you would expect him to be. Let's put them side by side so you can see a little better, because up front he actually looks bigger than he really is. And you can see he's not overly huge compared to what you would expect him to be with his other Commander class series. You can tell he's like way bigger than the Viacon. The Viacon's, well, technically the Viacon's not in scale either. Viacon's actually bigger than he should be compared to a jet, but it's alright. Let's get these guys out of here. And let's take another look at them real quick. Different views. I mean, his jet's nice. He has the transparent weapons, yellow, which is nice to see yellow for a change instead of the typical red, blue, or purple that we've been getting. So it's a new color for his transparent weapons, which is actually nice to see. So let's take a look at his weapon here. There's pegs underneath the wings. They peg into. And I don't see any other places in the vehicle mode to peg weapons in other than right there on their wings. So that's pretty much what you have. Alright, so the weapon, let's put him aside and take a look at the weapon. The weapon is actually a pretty good variation of what you see on the animation. You would expect to have another peg here where you could hold on to another handle where you could hold on to it with both hands, but he doesn't have that. He does come with a sword. The sword is actually interesting because the sword actually acts as a bayonet underneath. If you plug it like that, it becomes a really nice looking bayonet, which is really nice. the sides, I have one side's loose and one side that's tight. This side here is loose. This side here is tight. Go figure. It'd be really nice to have like 2 of these on each side, but with that loose side in there, it's actually kind of good you don't, and it works as a bayonet better that way anyway, so it's actually a very nice weapon. Okay, let's get to the transformation. Transformation for this guy is not that difficult. I mean, he is a commander class, so it's not that difficult. I don't always follow directions, so my directions might not be in par with what you get with them. I usually untab the arms first. One problem I do have is the legs do pop off on me during transformation sometimes. He actually has legs pop out during the box, so if it happens, it happens. But okay, so then he actually has tabs where these legs peg in underneath here. Just want to untab those. Then this whole waist section folds down, then moves back up in. And then this twists here and here. There's actually a 2 joint here. There's actually a joint here, which is a swivel joint, and then there's the ball joint, which is really interesting for the transformation. Which I think is partly why it's a little fiddly, because the way that joint is what makes it loose. It might just be my figure, but I could see it being loose on other figures. You just fold these back down for the toes. You fold the cockpit section down. Oops, I forgot one thing. You have to separate these first, pull these up and out of the way, and then you separate the cockpit section and fold it down. And that's just heads right in there. These come down over top of the shoulders and become his shoulder pads. His hands just swing up. And there you have pretty much the transformation for him. Now, it's an easy transformation. He looks awesome in robot mode. Both jet and robot mode look both awesome. The only issue I had was really with his joints here in the legs, where they would pop off on me sometimes during transformation. I was surprised they didn't this time, and that was probably one of the only times they haven't come off me during transformation. Like I said, they popped out when I tried to pull him out of the box, the packaging. He was really stuck in that packaging. So his articulation, he has the toes for transformation. He has a knee joint. He has this upper thigh swivel, and he has the ball joint here at the hip. Both sides are the same. Arm, he has elbow. He has a shoulder, and this being loose is actually pretty interesting because you can actually get more shoulder movement out of this way. So you could really do if the wings weren't there, you could do a full rotation, but the wing does hinder the full motion of the arm, so you can't get a full 360 degrees on that. But this shoulder pad is good that it moves, because it gives you at least a little bit more than you would have if that didn't move out of the way, which is nice. It moves for you, and it's a nice hard plastic. The only rubber is really on this tip. The plastic, the weapons are actually plastic, not that rubbery plastic we've been getting, the flimsy plastic. And the only rubber part is actually this tip of the nose cone, which we had on the original G1s on the nose cone, so it's nothing new. He stands fairly well. I mean, he does have a little bit standing issues when you try to move in certain positions, but he does have a good mix of positions. So let's get him with his weapon. Like I said, he has this bayonet thing, and you can sort of hold it like that. There is a peg on the back here where you can store the weapon. If you don't want him holding the weapon, you can store it right back there. And that's pretty much him. I mean, you could also put it on his. You also put the weapon on his wings and have him sticking on his wings in robot mode, but it doesn't really look that great. The other thing you can do is you could try to make it look more animation-like by trying to fake hold his gun with 2 hands. I'm not sure. It doesn't really look great. I mean, you can kind of fake it a little bit, make it look like he's holding it with 2 hands, but you can see he's not really holding it with 2 hands. So it can be faked out. Although there is one more thing I want to mention. I know people are going to kill me if I don't do this, so let's zoom out a little bit. Let's get him with his compadres in the show to actually show off his size. You see him next to Megatron. He's rather pretty good. Measure up there. Now we already know Steve Starscream isn't measured up well in this line. He probably really should have been a Legends figure to make him to really make him in par with line up with Megatron and everybody. Because he really should be shorter than Megatron, not taller than Megatron. He is just ever so slightly taller than Megatron, and he should be shorter than Megatron. Then of course you have your minion, one of your minions, your Viacons. If I can get him to stand up. Sheesh. Usually he's better at standing up than this. And there goes Starscream. There we go. He's actually good in line with Megatron pretty well, but he should be taller than Starscream, and Starscream should be shorter than Megatron. So, though I'm not sure exactly how much shorter Megatron Dreadwing should be, I'm gonna have to go back and watch the series again to see how much shorter he really should be than Megatron. But I know Starscream should definitely be shorter than Megatron, not towering over him. He looks shorter because of the way I had to have him posed to stand. Now, that's it. Now, you have a good day, y'all. And keep watching.